A brilliant but invisible single mother working 3 jobs finds herself thrust into a billionaire's world when her gifted son accidentally wanders into an exclusive restaurant, where one medical emergency, one corporate coup, and one impossible connection will shatter everything they thought they knew about survival, class, and second chances. The rain hammers Los Angeles, like judgment itself. Maya Torres, 34, stands outside the gleaming glass fortress of Celestine, a restaurant where a single appetizer costs what she makes in a day. Her server's uniform from the diner is soaked through. Her son's hand is warm in hers. "Mama, you're shaking," 7-year-old Elias whispers. "Just cold, baby, but it's not cold. It's fear. The kind that lives in your bones when you're 3 months behind on rent and your car just died, and you're holding your child's hand, wondering if you're enough." She checks her phone. 6:47 p.m. She has 13 minutes to get to her second shift across town. 13 minutes to feed Elias and somehow teleport. "I'm hungry," Elias says, and the words crack something in her chest. I know, baby. There's a McDonald's." "Mama, look." He's staring through the glass at Celestine's golden interior. Crystal chandeliers, women in diamonds, men in suits that cost more than her car did before it died. "That's not for us, Eli. But there's food. Not our food." Then Elias's stomach growls, loud enough that Maya feels it in her own empty belly. And something shifts. Some terrible mathematics of love and desperation. Just ask for bread, she thinks. They throw away more than you need. The hostess's smile dies when Maya walks in. The silence spreads like spilled wine. Heads turning, conversations pausing, judgment condensing in the air. Maya's wet sneakers squeak on marble. Elias grips her hand tighter. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but Celestine requires." The hostess begins, her voice a masterclass in polite contempt. Could we just have some bread? For my son, I can pay." Maya fumbles for the $7 in her pocket. The hostess's expression could freeze oceans. "Ma'am, this is a Michelin-starred establishment. We don't do charity." Elias's face crumples. Maya feels her own face burning. Then a voice cuts through the humiliation like a blade. "They're with me." He appears from a corner booth like something out of a different reality. Alexander Crane, 39, founder of Crane Industries, worth $4.7 billion according to Forbes. Worth everything according to the way people's spines straighten when he approaches. He's in a black suit that probably costs more than Maya's nursing school tuition would have. His eyes are the color of winter oceans, beautiful and lethal. "Mr. Crane," the hostess stammers. "I didn't realize." "Table 6, he says. Not a request." Maya wants to run. Every instinct screams to grab Elias and disappear. But her son is staring at this stranger with something like wonder, and she's so tired of running. "I don't need charity," Maya says, lifting her chin. Alexander's eyes flicker to her, really see her, for the first time. Something crosses his face. Surprise? Recognition? "It's not charity," he says quietly. "It's dinner. And I'm eating alone anyway." They sit in a corner booth, where the leather probably costs more than Maya's rent. Elias is vibrating with excitement, carefully studying the menu like it's a sacred text. "Mama, they have lobster. Lonster." Alexander watches the boy with something unreadable in his expression. Maya watches Alexander, trying to decode the game, find the angle, understand what this will cost her. "Order whatever you want, Eli," Maya says softly, even though her stomach is clenched with anxiety. A waiter appears, not the one who rejected them. This one is all practiced deference for Alexander, and barely concealed disdain for Maya. "The usual, Mr. Crane?" No, I'll have what they're having. The waiter's eyebrow lifts microscopically. Of course. Sir. Elias orders mac and cheese with lobster. Maya orders the cheapest thing on the menu, a salad that costs $43. Alexander orders the same. When the waiter leaves, Elias leans forward conspiratorially. You have a really cool watch, he tells Alexander. My mama wanted to be a nurse, but she couldn't finish school because of me. Now she works at Jerry's Diner and cleans offices and does people's laundry sometimes. She's really tired, but she never says so. Are you a superhero? The question hangs in the air. Alexander stares at this child, this impossible, guileless, devastating child. And something in his chest, something that's been frozen for 8 years, shifts. No, he says quietly. I'm not a superhero. You look like one. You look like Bruce Wayne. Eli, Maya whispers, mortified. But Alexander almost smiles. Almost. Bruce Wayne lost his parents. Oh. Elias processes this seriously. That's really sad. My dad left before I was born. Mama says he made a different choice. Do you have a kid? The question is a knife. Alexander's face closes like a vault. No. Oh. Well, you should get one. Kids are great. Maya wants to die. She wants to melt into the expensive leather and cease to exist. Eli, please. But then Alexander does something unexpected. He laughs. It's rusty, like an engine that hasn't been used in years. But it's real. You're right, he says to Elias. Kids are great. The food arrives like a ceremony. Elias's eyes go wide at the mac and cheese in its copper pot, studded with chunks of buttery lobster. Mama, look. Maya's eyes sting. When was the last time she saw him this happy? But the moment shatters when a woman at the next table, dripping in diamonds, face tight from too much surgery, leans over. Isn't that sweet? She says to her companion, loud enough to carry. Alexander playing saint. I suppose even billionaires need a photo op for their conscience. Her friend snickers, probably trying to rehabilitate his image after that disaster with the merger. Nothing says man of the people like slumming it with the help. Maya's face burns. She knows that tone. She's heard it her whole life. From foster families who took her in for the check. From professors who assumed she'd drop out. From the pediatrician who asked if she was really equipped to raise Elias alone. She starts to stand. We should go. Sit down, Alexander says. His voice is quiet, but it carries weight like gravity. Mr. Crane, we appreciate. I said sit down. Alexander rises. The entire restaurant seems to hold its breath. He walks to the woman's table. Every eye in the room follows. Margaret, he says pleasantly. I didn't see you there. Alexander, we were just mocking a single mother and her child in a public restaurant. Margaret's face flushes. That's not what. You have a foundation, don't you? For underprivileged children? His smile is a scalpel. I wonder what your donors would think about your views on the underprivileged when they're actually in the room with you. I didn't mean. You meant exactly that. Alexander's voice drops to something dangerous. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to Miss Torres and her son. Or I'm going to make one phone call, and your husband's company will lose every contract with Crane Industries. That's $62 million in annual revenue, in case you need help with the math. Margaret's face goes white. Alexander, please. Apologize. The woman walks to their table on shaking legs. I apologize. That was inappropriate. Elias looks confused. Maya feels tears burning behind her eyes. Thank you, Maya manages. But we really should. Please stay, Alexander says, returning to the table. The food just arrived. They're halfway through the meal, Elias chattering about his drawings, Maya slowly allowing herself to breathe, when the original waiter returns. The one who showed them contempt at the door. Mr. Crane, he says smoothly, I wanted to personally apologize for any confusion at the entrance. We have certain standards. Standards. Alexander cuts him off. Tell me, Marcus, what's your annual salary here? The waiter blinks. That's 75,000 plus tips, correct? Yes, sir. Miss Torres works 3 jobs. She makes about 38,000 a year. But she's not good enough for your restaurant. Sir, you just meant that you judge people by their appearance, their clothes, their net worth. Alexander leans back. I built my first company in a garage with $300 and a stolen laptop. Should they have thrown me out of restaurants back then? The waiter has gone pale. Your manager will hear about this, Alexander says quietly, dismissed. As the man retreats, Elias tugs Maya's sleeve. Mama, why is everyone so mean? Before Maya can answer, Alexander speaks. Because people forget what it's like to struggle. They build walls to feel safe, and then they forget there are people on the other side. He looks at Elias. But you'll remember, won't you, when you grow up? I'll remember, Elias promises solemnly. Mama always says, be kind, because everyone's fighting a battle you can't see. Alexander's eyes snap to Maya. Really see her. And something passes between them. Recognition, surprise, and a connection neither of them wants. The tension breaks when a man at a center table suddenly gasps and clutches his chest. Harold, his wife screams. Someone call 911. The man, 60s, overweight, face turning gray, slumps in his chair. The restaurant erupts into chaos. People pulling out phones, the hostess running in circles, someone shrieking about a doctor. Maya's body moves before her mind catches up. She's at his side in seconds, checking his pulse, tilting his head back. Sir, can you hear me? Sir. Is anyone a doctor? Someone yells. I am, a woman calls, but she's frozen, her hand shaking on her phone. Maya doesn't think. She just acts. I need someone to call 911, now. Tell them 58 to 60-year-old male, possible cardiac arrest. Her hands are already positioned on his chest. I'm starting compressions. You don't know what you're doing, someone starts. I'm 2 semesters away from my nursing degree, Maya snaps. And I've done this before. Move! Alexander watches Maya transform. The exhausted woman in wet sneakers becomes something else. Focused, powerful, completely in control. Her hands move with precision. Her voice cuts through panic like a lighthouse through fog. 30 compressions. Yes, you, count with me. 1, 2. She works with the efficiency of someone who's seen death and decided not today. Not on her watch. Elias stands pressed against Alexander's leg, and Alexander realizes his hand has moved to the boy's shoulder. Protective. Natural. Is Mama going to save him? Elias whispers. Yes, Alexander says, surprised by his certainty. Yes, she is. Maya doesn't stop. Sweat beads on her forehead. Her arms must be burning, but she doesn't slow. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. Again. Come on, she whispers. Come on. The man gasps. His eyes flutter open. The restaurant erupts in applause. Paramedics rush in. Someone must have propped the door for them, and Maya steps back, shaking, as they take over. You saved his life, a paramedic says. What's your name? You a doctor? Maya Torres, and no. Just no. When Maya turns around, the restaurant has transformed. Every face looks at her differently now. Not with contempt, with awe, with respect, with the uncomfortable realization that they judged completely wrong. Margaret, the woman who mocked her, approaches with tears in her eyes. You were incredible. Maya nods, numb. Her hands are still shaking. Then Elias crashes into her, wrapping his arms around her waist. Mama, you were like a superhero. You saved him. Just did what needed doing, baby. No. Alexander's voice. He's standing now. Looking at Maya like he's seeing her, For the first time. You did something extraordinary. Their eyes lock. The air between them shifts. Charged, complicated, real. The man you saved? Alexander says quietly. That's Harold Chen. He owns half of commercial real estate in this city. You just saved one of the most powerful men in Los Angeles. I saved a person, Maya corrects. That's all. And in that moment, Alexander Crane falls a little bit in love with someone completely inappropriate, completely impossible, and completely undeniable. Please, Alexander says, let us take you somewhere private. You need a moment. Maya wants to refuse. Every instinct says run, protect yourself, don't let him see you vulnerable. But Elias is exhausted. Her hands won't stop shaking, and she's so tired of being strong alone. Okay, she whispers. Alexander leads them to Celestine's private VIP room, a space that probably costs thousands to reserve. Soft lighting, leather couches, a private bar. He orders water for Maya, hot chocolate for Elias. With extra marshmallows, Elias specifies. With extra marshmallows, Alexander confirms to the server. When they're alone, Maya collapses into the couch. The adrenaline is crashing, leaving her hollow and shaking. You were 2 semesters from your nursing degree, Alexander asks quietly. Maya laughs, brittle, broken. Yeah, I was 26, working full-time, going to school at night. I had a plan. I was going to graduate, get a job at Cedars-Sinai, give Eli everything I never had. She closes her eyes. Then my mom got sick. Cancer. I dropped out to take care of her. She died anyway. 6 months later, I was broke, homeless, and desperate. So here I am. 3 jobs, barely surviving, living the dream. Alexander is quiet for a long moment. Then, I had a daughter. The words fall like stones in still water. Maya's eyes snap open. Sophia. She was 6. His voice is carefully controlled, but Maya can hear the fault lines beneath. Car accident. 8 years ago. Drunk driver ran a red light. My wife was driving. She died too. Instantly. Sophia lasted 3 days in the hospital. I sat with her, holding her hand, watching machines breathe for her. And then, he can't finish. I'm so sorry, Maya whispers. After I buried myself in work, built the company bigger, faster, harder, stopped feeling anything, it was easier that way. He looks at Elias, who's fallen asleep on the couch, chocolate mustache still on his lip. Until tonight, until your son asked me if I was a superhero, and made me remember what it felt like to be human. Hey, Maya feels tears on her cheeks. We're all just doing our best to survive our losses. P. Is that what you're doing? Surviving? P. Some days. She wipes her face. Some days I'm just trying to make sure Eli doesn't notice I'm drowning. P. He notices, Alexander says gently. But he also notices how strong you are, how fiercely you love him, how you saved a man's life tonight without hesitation. He pauses. You're extraordinary, Maya Torres. I'm a single mom with $7 in my pocket. You're a woman who chose love over fear. That's extraordinary. Come work for me, Alexander says suddenly. Maya stares. What? Crane Industries has an education program. Full tuition, full salary, flexible hours. You finish your degree, work for us during and after. I need someone in our corporate wellness department. Someone who actually gives a damn about people. You don't know me. I know you saved a man's life tonight. I know you're raising an incredible kid alone. I know you're fighting with everything you have. His eyes are intense. Let me help. Why? Maya's voice cracks. Why would you do this? Because for the first time in 8 years, I feel something other than empty. Because your son made me laugh. Because you challenged everything I thought I knew about strength and class and what matters. He leans forward. Because maybe we can help each other survive our losses. Maya looks at Elias, sleeping peacefully, face relaxed in a way she hasn't seen in months. She thinks about the eviction notice in her car, the electricity bill she can't pay, the desperate mathematics of survival that wakes her at 3 a.m. every night. "Okay," she whispers. "Okay." Maya stands in Crane Industries' glass tower, wearing professional clothes Alexander's company provided, taking her final nursing exam on a company computer during her lunch break. She's gained 10 pounds, healthy weight, from actually eating regularly. Elias is in the company's childcare program, thriving. It feels like a dream, too good, too perfect. That's when she learns dreams can become nightmares. Marcus Stone, Alexander's CFO, leans back in his chair during the board meeting and smiles like a shark. "Gentlemen, ladies, we need to discuss Alexander's recent judgment issues." The boardroom goes quiet. He's been distracted, making emotional decisions, hiring unqualified personnel. Marcus slides a folder across the table. This woman, Maya Torres, high school graduate, no degree, working 3 minimum wage jobs. Now she's on our executive track, with full tuition benefits? Because Alexander felt what? Sorry for her? Marcus. Alexander's voice is dangerous. "How much is this costing shareholders, Alex? How many other unqualified charity cases are you planning to hire? Should we just open our doors to every sob story?" "Watch it," Alexander warns. "Or what?" Marcus stands. "The board has legitimate concerns about your leadership, your judgment. Ever since that dinner at Celestine, you've been different. Soft. And soft doesn't build empires." Maya saved a man's life that night. Maya is a liability. And so are you, if you can't separate business from whatever midlife crisis you're having. Maya hears about the board meeting from a sympathetic secretary. She stands frozen in the hallway, watching through glass walls as men in suits discuss her life like she's a line item. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. "Miss Torres, this is Jessica Chang from City Weekly. We're running a story about Alexander Crane's controversial new hire. Would you like to comment on your relationship with him?" Maya's blood goes cold. "We don't have a relationship. He helped me, that's all." "So you're not sleeping with him?" "What? No. But he gave you a job, tuition, childcare. Surely you can see how it looks." Maya hangs up, hands shaking. The article comes out the next morning. The headline destroys her. "Billionaire's new charity case, gold digger or genuine?" Inside Alexander Crane's questionable relationship with former waitress, Maya storms into Alexander's office, article in hand. "Did you know?" Her voice shakes. "Did you know they'd do this?" Alexander's face is stone. "Maya, they're calling me a gold digger. They're saying I seduced you for money. They're saying Eli and I are con artists. I'll fix this." "Fix it? How?" "By holding another press conference, explaining that you just felt sorry for the pathetic single mom. That'll really help." She's crying now, furious and humiliated. "I should never have trusted this. I knew it was too good to be true. Maya, please. My son is being bullied at school. Parents are calling me a whore. I can't do this." "Then let me help you fight." "I've been fighting my whole life, Alexander. I'm tired of fighting." The door bursts open. Marcus Stone stands there with security. "Ms. Torres, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Your employment has been terminated pending investigation into." "She's not going anywhere," Alexander says coldly. "The board voted. She's out. And unless you want to be out too, then I'm out." The room goes silent. "What?" Marcus stares. "You heard me. I resign. Effective immediately." Alexander stands, walks around his desk. This company was built on taking risks, on seeing potential where others saw problems. Maya Torres has more integrity in her pinky than this entire board combined. Alexander, don't be stupid. I'm done being careful. I'm done building walls. I'm done pretending I don't care. He looks at Maya. I choose her. I choose what's right. You'll lose everything, Marcus hisses. I already lost everything. 8 years ago. This, he gestures at the office. This is just stuff. She's real. Her son is real. And I'm not losing that. Maya is crying openly now. You can't do this. You can't throw away your company for. For what? For someone extraordinary? Someone who saves lives and raises an incredible kid and makes me feel human again? Alexander takes her hand. Maya, I'm not losing anything. I'm finally finding something worth keeping. This is insane, Marcus says. The board will never... Actually, says a voice from the door. Harold Chen, the man Maya saved, walks in with his lawyer and half the board behind him. The board will do exactly what I tell them to. Because I own 30% of this company, as of yesterday. He looks at Marcus. And Marcus, you're fired, for trying to stage a coup. Didn't think I'd find out, did you? Marcus goes white. Harold turns to Alexander and Maya. I've spent 3 months investigating what happened that night. This young woman saved my life. Then, I watched her get harassed, attacked, and humiliated for accepting help. That's not acceptable. He looks at Alexander. You don't resign. You stay. You clean house. And Miss Torres gets a formal apology, full restoration, and a promotion. Mr. Chen, I don't. Maya starts. You saved my life. I owe you everything. This is just the start of paying that debt. Maya graduates nursing school in cap and gown. Elias screaming in the front row. Alexander standing beside him. She's been promoted to Director of Healthcare Initiatives at Crane Industries. She makes enough money to save, to breathe, to live, not just survive. The diploma in her hand feels impossible, real, earned. After the ceremony, Elias runs up with a drawing. I made this for you, Mama. It's a picture of the three of them, Maya, Elias, and Alexander, holding hands under a rainbow. That's us, Elias explains unnecessarily. A family. Maya's throat closes. She looks at Alexander, who's studying the drawing with suspicious moisture in his eyes. Eli, Maya says carefully. Alexander isn't. We're not. But he could be, Elias says simply. If you wanted. Later, after the celebration dinner, Alexander and Maya stand on his balcony overlooking Los Angeles. The city sparkles below them like fallen stars. He's not wrong, you know, Alexander says quietly. About what? About us, about family. He turns to face her. I'm not good at this. I spent 8 years building walls, but you and Elias, you reminded me why walls are lonely, why feeling is better than emptiness, why loving is worth the risk of losing. Alexander, I'm not asking you to marry me. Not yet. I know it's complicated. I know we come from different worlds. But I'm asking, he takes her hand. I'm asking if you believe in second chances, second chapters, second families built from broken pieces. Maya thinks about the girl she was, foster kid, invisible, convinced she didn't deserve good things. She thinks about the woman she became, single mom, exhausted, fighting for scraps. She thinks about the woman she's becoming, strong, educated, capable of accepting help without shame. I believe in fighting for what matters, she says finally. And you matter. Eli thinks you matter. So yeah, I believe in second chances. Good. Alexander smiles. Real, warm, completely human. Because I'm not good at giving up. Neither am I. They stand there holding hands, not kissing, not yet. Just existing in the space between who they were and who they're becoming. Below them, Los Angeles sprawls, infinite and glittering. Somewhere in that city, a single mom is standing in the rain, desperate and scared. Somewhere, a child is hungry. Somewhere, someone is judging someone else for having less. But here, on this balcony, Two broken people are healing each other, one small moment of grace at a time. Mama, Mr. Crane, Elias calls from inside. Can we have ice cream? They laugh. Yeah, baby, Maya calls back. We can have ice cream. She squeezes Alexander's hand once before letting go. Thank you, she whispers, for seeing me, when everyone else just saw through me. Thank you, he responds, for saving more than Harold Chen's life that night. You saved mine too. The three of them sit on the floor of Alexander's penthouse, eating ice cream straight from the carton. Chocolate for Elias, vanilla for Maya, strawberry for Alexander. Breaking every rule of class and decorum and what's appropriate. This is the best night ever, Elias declares, face covered in chocolate. Yeah, Maya agrees, looking at Alexander. Yeah, it really is. Alexander meets her eyes and sees his future there. Messy, unexpected, imperfect, and absolutely worth it. He sees Elias teaching him to laugh again. He sees Maya challenging him to stay human. He sees birthday parties, and school plays, and fights about homework, and all the beautiful chaos of a family. He sees second chances. You know what, Eli? Alexander says, reaching over to ruffle the boy's hair. I think you're right. This might be the best night ever. Outside, the rain has stopped. The city glitters clean and new, and inside this penthouse that used to feel like a mausoleum, there's laughter, melted ice cream, and the sound of a family being built from broken pieces. Sometimes salvation doesn't look like you expected. Sometimes it's wearing wet sneakers and holding a 7-year-old's hand. Sometimes it walks into a restaurant you don't belong in and changes everything. Sometimes Grace has the face of a woman who won't quit fighting, even when the world tells her she's not enough. Maya Torres was always enough. She just needed someone to see it. And Alexander Crane needed someone to remind him what seeing really means.